Appreciate y'all time. Thank y'all. This is the DJ Roundtable little media session or little press conference, we'll call it. But anyways, today I just want to talk about the blueprints of early success in our DJ careers. A lot of people here are newer in their DJ career, and I just want to make sure I'm giving y'all the right tools so that we can grow correctly and that y'all won't have any issues in the future. So I'll be super quick here. Again, some of the basic things, just love what y'all do. I can tell that y'all passionate. Obviously, y'all showing up consistently. So that lets me know that music speaks to you guys in some way. Keep that passion, make sure that's a burning desire that you'll always keep with you. That's going to take you guys the furthest. And I would say, like, understand why you started. Like, I heard some stories about you playing, you said trumpet? Mm-hmm. You play trumpet, so it's like, you understand how to read. It's a story always behind why we get into DJing. Find out why it is and why you want to keep building from there. And then basically serving at the highest level. James, you notice I've seen you at multiple networking events. You go in there and shake hands, but you don't ask for nothing. You go in there, Michaela, I've seen you too at networking events. Y'all go in, y'all shake hands, say what's up, and that's all it is. Don't expect anything in return. Just go out there and serve and walk in the room like you own it, because you are who you are, and people either going to accept you or they're not. It's okay. Who cares? So serve at the highest level, get to know your community, look for projects to go serve, community service type things. That's going to take you guys further than you think, because you're in circles where the people that you're looking to have as your customer is right there in front of you. I know people harp on social media and I get all this money on accounts through, this platform, that platform, but realistically, it's right here in front of you. So keep that in mind. Now let's talk about social media. I would say, like, it's very important to be present. Always be present. At the very minimum, stories. I get on here all the time. Be on stories, be on stories, be on stories. At least have something up there. That way we can always see your bubble at the top, right? You get on social media, your bubble's right there. I want to see what you're up to. Try to make your content relatable to what your brand stands for. Like, if we're DJs, we probably shouldn't be showing how we make pizzas or something. Let's keep the content relatable, if that makes sense. Now, if you're a chef and a DJ and people know that, that's different, right? But as a DJ, I would say focus on your brand. Leo does a great job. I've been noticing everything you're posting on stories now is all party relevant. Everything you just did from your events, you got your cars, of course, too, but we already knew that before you were really diving into DJing. So it complements one another. You did a great job setting that up. So yeah, just keep that in mind there. And then I would say, like, when we're doing, go ahead.
I feel like what helps also, I mean, I get where you're coming from, but I also feel like if you do have content out of the partying scene or like the DJ scene, it makes you feel a little bit more trustable just because it's you. You're showing who you are.
I agree. Thank you, bro. And then to basically top off with that there, I mean, you guys are already doing this, I see, but any events that we're doing, just making sure we tagging who we were there with. Get to know who's in the environment and tag those people, photographers, videographers. Those are our best friends, and we're all in the same industry. So let's build those relationships. Focus on one platform at a time. I have probably like 4 or 5, but I had to start with one, Instagram. And then from there, I was like, okay, I'm ready to go to Facebook. Now I'm ready to go to Threads. Now I'm ready to go to YouTube. So start with one and just continue to expand. There are people on each of those platforms that are looking for your service. I promise you. So stay consistent. Okay, LLC, contract. If you want to be taken as a serious, legitimate DJ, just be legit. Get an LLC. Get your insurance, things like that. I want to make sure you're in the position to always say yes, than being in a position to have to say no because you don't have what you need. There's going to be an opportunity that presents itself, I'm pretty sure of, that you're at a hotel. The hotel's going to ask for your business insurance. And if you don't have it, you can't play. So you have to present that type of information to certain venues in order to make sure that you're liable and trusted enough to be in that venue in the first place. So something to look at, not a lot of people even talk about.
What type of insurance is it?
So for me, I use State Farm.
But like, is it like
business insurance?
Okay.
Yeah, just business insurance to cover the liability at the very minimum of protecting your business there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, so for like your gear, DJ controllers, laptops, especially when you guys are starting to travel, you get on that plane, it's a risk immediately.
Yeah.
So you want to have all that stuff just covered, make sure y'all good. Any other questions before I go on to the next slide about that? get y'all deposits. We talk about this. Y'all know how we work. Get y'all deposit before the event start. At least 50% is what I aim for. If you can get more, great. And then the remaining balance is usually due the day of the event or at least before the event. Um, yeah. Sometimes there's a case where you don't get paid till after the event. Just communicate. Even for myself, I don't always get paid right after the event, but I do my best to make sure I collect within at least 3 days of the event happening. And communicate with the customer. On my contract, I have late days. We'll talk about that. Like if you're late after this day, then it's X amount. Put that on there at least.
Late fees?
Yeah, late fee. Put a late fee on there at least so the customer is aware. And for some reason, if something happens after the fact, just communicate. But at least it's there, right, to protect you. Organize. This is a tough topic here, y'all. But we got to get organized. Starts with our crate, obviously, on our computer. We got so many tasks to do as DJs. We got Serato to worry about, record box to worry about, getting music, adding it, organizing it for this customer, that customer. Every set is different, right? We all know that. But the more organized we are, the better prepared we'll be walking into any room or any situation. There's a call that might come in next week. Do I have enough music in my library that's organized enough to finesse the gig? Like I can push through it, or do I have to take hours and hours of my time to make it happen? So let's be organized in advance. Consistency. This is how you win in this business. I promise you. You have to be consistent. Have to be consistent. Whatever you guys are doing daily, if that's practicing, if that's networking, just those little habits that y'all are creating, be consistent at it. Over time, it's going to turn into a bigger snowball. And you're going to see all these things unfold in front of you that you were like, well, I only did this to do this, but it was the consistency behind it all that led to this big effect. So be consistent. I harp on that. That's basically it. So obviously I'm proud of y'all. Keep up the amazing work. What we do as DJs is very important. And I think today now, especially, more people need more DJs. There's plenty of work to go around for all of us. We don't have to look at each other side eye or look at each other like, why they get more business than the other. Don't compare yourself to anybody else but yourself in the mirror. I promise you, you'll be a lot happier. Okay? I'm going to open up this time here for just open-ended questions. Again, this is all recorded, so for those on YouTube listening, they'll be able to hear your question and maybe have the same question that you're asking, and we'll be able to answer here as a group. Who wants to go first?
So, talking about organized, can you tell us a little bit how you organize your music?
How I organize my music? You can hold the mic there, thank you. So the way I organize my music is pretty simple. So I create folders. I go into that folder, let's say it's a wedding, and it's for this wedding, it's for couple X and couple Z. So I'm going to create a folder in Serato, which is a program that I use on the side, X and Z wedding. And from that, I'm going to add all of the songs that they want for their wedding. So ceremony music, reception music, must plays, and then whatever I have, I usually ask the client, can you unlock me? Or do I have to play specifically your music? If they unlock me, I already got thousands of songs, right, that I'm familiar with, I can go to, and I'll make the night even more spectacular.
How do you organize your thousands of songs?
Have I organized my thousands of songs? I have, actually. I went in there and there's a feature that you use where you analyze all your files. So I'll make sure all my files are analyzed. And then the ones that I'm doing go-tos, like that I play the most consistent, I'll go in there and put like this red flame next to it where you can highlight the box next to your songs. Either colors, like 20 colors or something like that. I usually organize them that way as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, bro.
I didn't know there was that setting.
Yeah, bro, I can teach you, man.
Appreciate
no problem.
it.
Yeah. Cool, next question, y'all.
How often do you practice?
How often do I practice? I'm practicing at least twice a week. My schedule now allows me, well, how should I say this? My schedule before wasn't as busy, so I was practicing more like 3, maybe 5 times a week when I didn't have a lot of work on my plate. I got a lot more work on my plate, so it's harder to find those times to practice. So like I take advantage when I'm like at an event early where I can use that time to get some scratches in, or maybe get my hands comfortable and warm before the event. And I firmly believe in myself that I put in 10,000 hours so that I can, perform at any level.
What would you say makes the most efficient practice?
The most efficient practice, I would say, is when you are inspired at the most. So you feel the music, it's in your bloodstream. You like, I need to put this on the decks. That's the time to go do it. Right when you feel like there's an instinct to act, go act on it. That's the best time to go practice. So make that a daily habit as best you can.
Smart. While it's fresh in your mind. That's cool. Yeah.
So I know we talked a little bit about the organization part for gigs and whatnot, but how about for, say, lead management? Like any sort of like, are there any sort of like CRMs that you use or any sort of like programs that you use to organize your leads? That's
a great question. I think everybody works a little bit different. There's many entrepreneurs out there, right? And everybody has a different thing that works best for them and their workflow system. For me personally, my wife and I, we actually are a team and we use Google Sheets. And I actually have an example here that I can show you guys. Well, let's do it while we're on the live stream. So I use Google Sheets here, and what I did was I have it at the top, my bookkeeping. You know, a lead comes in. I also have a piece of paper where I say, where did you find me? You know, I want to ask those people, where did you find me? Did you find me on Facebook? You found me on Instagram? You found me on Threads? You found me on YouTube? You just see my website? Did you see my Google? I want to know that information so I know where to pay more attention to on those platforms.
Your ROI.
Exactly right. You know exactly, bro. Mm-hmm. But with my bookkeeping information, so I have all of the months throughout the year in order, all 12. This is back in 2024, so for an example, I have the date for January. All of my January date or gigs are in that month. The customer name or the gig name, negotiated pay, what expenses I have from that gig, so I know kind of like my deductions. And then, in this case, I changed it, but I did take home pay. So like, what did I end up actually coming home with out of that gig? And for this, I track miles too. So as a business owner, we want to track our miles. You know, from my tax person at least told me that it was best to track my miles. So, anyways, deductions in that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then one more question, just going off of our expenses. What would you say, like, in terms of like being an actual DJ business and trying to manage what comes in and what comes out? Mm-hmm. What would you say are like the top 3 or maybe top 5 like expenses to keep track of?
Top 5 expenses to keep track of?
Yeah, like the things that you want to make sure that your
gas is number 1. I would definitely say gas because we live in just our state of Utah is one freeway, right? You got to stretch basically 100 miles. So I would say gas is number 1. From there, I would say my gear. I'm paying attention to like my subscription platforms that I'm paying for. So like, how many things am I paying for to make DJing a reality? Like Serato, my music library sources that I'm buying, getting music from, those type of things. So that's 3 right there. I would say number 4, I'm paying attention to. I would say if I have to pay somebody else. If that makes sense. So like, I'm in a different position now where I'm trying to book a lot more people out. So I want to make sure like it makes sense for everybody. So I'm paying attention to those numbers. And I would say lastly, I mean, I'm a husband with kids, and that's probably my number 1 expense, to be honest with you. We'll put that on the list as number 5.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Good question, by the way, too, bro. I like that.
Mm-hmm. My biggest question is Uncle Sam and these taxes. Yeah. So when y'all playing on these gigs, like, how much do you take out for your taxes? Like, which ones do you like? Like, how do you show that you played that gig? Because like for some clubs, like they'll just pay you out or like Venmo you something, and then it's like, how do I track it? Like, what do the taxes want us to see when we recording all these payments? Because like that's where I'm lost. I'm like, dude, what?
That's a great question. I think the number 1 thing that I always start off with is asking yourself, is this information enough for me to run with, or do I need to hire somebody else to help me get that information? So I'm looking at a coach maybe. And then from there, I would say probably talking to a tax person, because then they're going to tell you if you should open up a separate business account or bank account or not. And in that separate bank account, you can have all of your expenses tracked, and it's all recorded underneath that business account. So when you report it to your tax person, it's already recorded there for you.
Unless you can get cash.
Yeah.
Exactly.
In your bank account.
Yeah. Usually they say like the good general rule of thumb is like taking out 20 to 25%.
That's what I
like
usually.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
I sometimes take out a little more because these like their taxes. America likes their taxes, y'all. Like,
a good base, but
if they could get it from you, they will. So I always like to ask, like, what you guys want to do around that, since
Mhm.
that's always like that's a new field for me. So
That's a great question. Did we answer that for you?
yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, hopefully that information helped anybody. Any other questions before we close it out? Well, cool, y'all. This is the Blueprints of Early Success. Thank y'all so much for attending, and we out. Let's go.